अभी हम लोग जा रहे हैं एडफू टेम्पल। ये एडफू में सबसे मशहूर और एक ही टेम्पल है जिसके हिस्ट्री के बारे में मेरा गाइड अहमद is going to tell me. Okay.
And my wife, she is English teacher.
Okay.
I speak with her English.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's why English is so good.
Yeah. First, you are welcome in Edfu city. Edfu city located in the middle way between Aswan and Luxor. 100 kilometers in the north of Aswan and 100 kilometers in the south of Luxor. The ancient Egypt was divided into 42 regions. 22 in the north and 20 in the south. I'm sorry. Between Aswan and Luxor, you can visit 4 different regions. You started by Aswan, for example, and Aswan was the capital of the first region.
Okay.
We called Aswan in the past Siwan. It's meaning the big market. Siwan, because there was big market in Aswan city before. Then you visited Komombo city, and Komombo was the capital of the second region.
Okay.
We called the Komombo in the past the mountain of gold, because we discovered lots of gold mines there. Okay, and now you are in Edfu, and Edfu was the capital of the third region. We called Edfu in the past Edibu. It's meaning the city of revenge. Because Horus killed his uncle Seth here.
All right.
I will explain for you later the conflict between Horus and his uncle.
Okay.
After finish your visit here, you move to Luxor. Luxor was the capital of the fourth region.
Okay.
We called Luxor in the past Teb or Waset. It's meaning the city of big palaces, because there were lots of big palaces in Luxor city before. The temple which we will visit now, it is the last temple which built in a Greco-Roman time. Before explain the temple, I wanted to give you some information about the Greek time in Egypt. You know Alexander the Great.
Yes.
He came here 332 BC and he created the capital in Alexandria. He wanted to give the offering of food for the god Amon-Ra in the temple of Oasis of Siwa in the desert.
God Ra and Amora as the same thing?
No, I will explain for you later.
Okay.
Because I will give you some information about the Egyptian religion later. Okay. He gave him the offering of food, and the people who worked there called him the son of God, because he respected the Egyptian god like the Egyptian people, but he didn't stay lots of time in Egypt because he went to Iraq and he died there. When he died, he was young. He's age 32. The king Ptolemaic I, who will be the king after him. So the Greek time in Egypt started 332 BC by Alexander the Great and finished 31 BC by the Queen Cleopatra VII. After that, the Roman people came here. They stayed in Egypt till 395 after crashing. During the Greek time, the Greek built lots of temples like the Egyptian people. They keep the Egyptian style. They give the offering of food for the Egyptian god. But they built something to be different. Not like the Egyptian people 100%. Like what? Like this construction, which called the Mamizi. What is the meaning of Mamizi? It's small building used to represent the god, the king, drinks the sacred milk from his mother Isis to say he is the son of the god Osiris and he is the son of the goddess Isis. So he is able to be king in Egypt to search the legitimacy. Okay, but we will visit the Mamizi after finish our visit when we exit.
Okay.
The construction of this temple started 237 BC by the king Ptolemaic III and finished 57 BC by the king Ptolemaic XII. So they took 180 years to build this temple. This temple considered like the second biggest temple after Karnak temple in Luxor City. And the only preserved temple because it was under the sand till 1860. A French archaeologist, his name Auguste Mariette, when he came here, he discovered the temple. So the temple, it was under the sand. He started his work 1850 and he finished his work 1860. He took 10 years to move the sand from this temple. Okay. The temple dedicated for the worship of the god Horus. Horus represented with falcon. Why the falcon here in the city? I will give you some information first about the Egyptian religion, then I will tell you why the falcon. Seen, especially in the bottom. If you see in the left, in the bottom, you can find the king Ptolemaic, number 12, smite the enemies in front of the god Horus, the main god of this temple represented with falcon. Behind him, his mother. His wife, sorry, the goddess Hathor. But if you see in another side, you find the same scene, but behind Horus, his mother Isis. So one time the Egyptian people represented the god with his wife, and another time the god with his mother Isis. Why? To avoid the problems between Hathor and the mother-in-law Isis.
Okay.
If you see in the top, you find the king Ptolemaic gives the offering of food for several gods.
Right.
You can see the first line extremely left.
Yeah.
You find the king Ptolemaic gives the offering of food, but he puts on his head the red crown, the crown of Lower Egypt. But if you see in another side, extremely right there,
there's the white crown.
He changed his crown. He puts the white crown, the crown of Upper Egypt. It's meaning that he was the king in Upper and Lower Egypt in the same time.
Right.
If you see in the second line of people, you find the same king, but he changed his crown for the third and the fourth time there. But the third and the fourth, it is the same crown, the Greek crown. Why two times the Egyptian crowns and two times the Greek crowns? To mix between the Egyptian civilization and the Greek civilization. In the entry of temple, there was a huge door, and the door fabricated with wood covering by gold, but the door used later to fabricate the small boats. In the entry of temple, there are two small statues. You can see two statues. To fabricate the statues like that, they must to search the granite from Aswan city, because there was quarry of granite in Aswan city. This quarry working till now. All the facade was painted with color. There were 4 flags, 2 flags in the right and 2 flags in the left to decorate the temple. Okay, why the flags? The flags used for the decoration.
الله يخليك يا علم.
It's meaning that the god protects the king, protects the king. Look at the scene. You find the king Ptolemaic and his wife, and the god Horus and his wife. Why the king look at inside and the god look at outside? Because the king, he was visitor, but the god, he was the owner.
All right.
In the entry of temple, there was a huge door. I told you before. And the door divided 2 parts. It's meaning when the high priest opens the door early morning, the door must to come here, like the wall.
Okay.
You can see the thickness of the door. The door was very huge and very heavy. Imagine that the door is open now. This area will be behind the door. It is very difficult to find behind the door some scene represent the god and the goddess, because the Greek respected their god like the Egyptian people. It is not God when I draw the god behind the door. So we can find what? We can find some religious supplications. I say for you with the Egyptian language that it's one type of dance called now in English 4/4 shapes. Make number 4. Why this type of dance in the entry of temple? To know the people who drink alcohol. If I drink alcohol, I can dance like that. It is a small examination in the entry of temple before 2000 years.
Okay.
Look at this scene, please. This is the purification of the king Ptolemy between two gods. The god Horus, the main god of this temple, and the god Tot, the god of knowledge. They must to clean the king with sacred water. After that, the king went to meet two women, the woman of lower and upper Egypt, to put the double crown on his head and be king after that.
Okay.
Who is the king? He is the king Ptolemy. Okay, sorry. Logic, he is the king Ptolemy, but the king Ptolemy number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, we don't know.
How many kings were there?
There were 13 Ptolemy, Greek kings. Okay, but who is the king? We don't know.
Okay.
Why? Because if you see in the top, the cartouche is empty. There is empty cartouche.
Okay.
Why? Because there was conflict between the of boats attached with rope. This journey called the beautiful meeting between Horus and his wife Hathor. Horus, who represented with falcon, he was married with Hathor. She represented by cow. But Hathor, she didn't stay with his husband here in Edfu. She likes to stay in another city located in the north of Edfu, 160 kilometers. This city called Dindra. There are 32 columns. If you see in the top of these columns, you find the columns represented the flowers, like papyrus, lotus. There is just one column represented with cactus. Cactus, which one? This one. You can see the top of this one is different, not like the other columns. Why? Because there were 31 priests who worked here, and there was one king, just one king, and the king must be different, not like the priest. So this is the symbol of the king, and the first one represents the high priest, and the other columns represent the normal priest who worked here. Why the Egyptian people represent the high priest before the king? Because the king must be before the high priest. No, the people like to listen for the high priest more than the king, because the Egyptian people are religious. Okay, they like to listen for him more than the king. So I think the high priest is playing the role more important than the king. So the high priest before the king.
Huge.
And now we are in the first hypostyle columns. What is the difference between the hypostyle columns and the open courtyard area outside?
These are
the
taller.
Public like us are stay outside. but the high priest and the priest can go inside. Why? For praying, but of ber, it's meaning the house, purification. So the house of purification. It is a small bathroom. The high priest must to go inside to take a shower, but not 100% shower. He starts clean hands, after that head, and he finished by legs. I show you.
Sure.
You can see the high priest starts to clean hands, then head, not here, and finished legs. And he must to change the cloth inside. After finish all this, he must to go in another side there to search the holy box in the small library, because there was small.
The ceiling is black.
Just 1 minute. Mike.
Vamos entrando aquí el laboratorio, aquí como fábrica.
We are in the small room used to make perfume and medicine. We call this small room the pharmacy of the temple. There was one person called Shesmu. He was responsible to fabricate the perfume and the medicine in the ancient Egyptian time. To fabricate the perfume, they must to collect the flowers and the plants, and they must to keep the flower and the plants under the earth. Very chic bottle, like Sphinx. The king Ptolemaic gives the bottle of perfume for the god Horus and his wife, like offering of some flowers here, but written in hieroglyphs.
So this wall is for perfume.
Yeah, and another medicine. Take pictures, and later I will give you free time.
Yes.
When we finish our business. Of the god Horus, the secret bolt. How many person carried the bolt? Can you count and tell me later how many person carried the bolt?
6?
No, not 6. They are 31 people who carry the bolt. Come here, please. Can you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you find 5 dresses, it's meaning 5 people.
Okay.
5 and 5, 10 and 5, 15 and 15 and 5, 30. If you count the high priest with them, so 31. If you count the king Ptolemy with them, so total 32. Why 32? Because there are 32 columns outside. Why there are 32 columns outside? Because there were 32 people who worked here.
Yeah.
It's a very strange, the offering of food which represented by the public outside. It's like reception.
Okay.
For the high priest, he must to come here to arrange the offering. Of food. To discover the offering of food, you can see in the bottom the duck, the goat, some vegetables, some fruits, another side. But this seems very interesting because the majority of tour guides joking with the client, they say this is represent like the first Wi-Fi in history. It's not like
It's for fish.
Not Wi-Fi. There is no Wi-Fi before. This is the reps of animals. It's like kind of food, but very expensive. This is a list of offering of food which represented by the public. We can start from the bottom to up. This kind of meat, duck, soup, vegetables and fruits, and bread. Only fish, no. There is no fish.
No fish.
Especially the catfish.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Because catfish eats the penis of the
penis.
god Osiris before.
Right.
If you wanted to go to see the style of the stir, you can. I'm waiting for you here.
Okay.
The Holy of Holies of the temple. Look at inside. You find small naus. What is the meaning of naus? Small construction represented like pyramid, fabricated with black granite, used to put the golden statue of the god Horus inside. In front of naus there are two small tables. One table is empty, used to put the offering of food which is presented by the public, and the other very small boat. But the boat, which you see now, it's not original. It's a replica. Replica, yeah, fabricated with wood. But the original one may be fabricated with gold, but stolen by the French. Okay, if you wanted to go up as you like. Okay. If you wanted to go up later when I give you free time, as you like also. There is closed door. Okay.
Esto se comunicaba con el laboratorio de la Cleopatra.
Ah, que no.
Hay una pared nada más. Hay una pared.
There are many beds on the roof.
Oh, they are real bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see there are lots of women do like that. It is a festival. Because Horus found his uncle, and his uncle represented with which animal in this conflict I told you before?
Hippo.
Okay, Horus, found his uncle and he attached him with small rope. Okay, you can see attached him from the legs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. David go out from Edfu, and he represent his uncle in front of many gods.
Okay.
Because this is the last scene of the conflict. He cuts the cake, okay, like his uncle, small cake. Symbolic.
Okay.
The Nile cruise, then after that,
You look at the scene. This is the Egyptian numbers and digits. I can show you this man represent 1 million. If you count 1, 2, 3, 3 millions, and 100,000, 300,000 franc. The finger, 10,000, so 30,000. Sunflower, 100, so 300. And this represent 100. So 300. And this
30.
represent 10, and so 30. What is the meaning of this number? Represent what? It's represent the number of jars of offering of food